You?
Not too bad. Hey, what happened? You see what took place in Egypt?
Yes.
Right? Guyanese need to wake up. This is not about black, it's not about Indian, Portuguese, or nobody. We all need to wake up. I support the Indian by shopping from them. They supported me by buying from me. They cry every day. Every day they cry out. And they don't need to come out and speak out on the road. I don't know how long they're going to be fooled by our slot, by new road. You look in Safari here right now. Look the condition of the road. Rain just fall the other day. I've set a pothole race up. Right? The government gonna come. They gonna smooth it off and tell the people they're doing good for the people. Now when these Indian people or black people go and vote, say they're putting this government back. Then they go and when they get in power, they break down the house again. They kick them off the road corner again. They do everything. They're still going to put them back again.
Well, I think, you know what I hope, as I listen to you, and I said I just traveled to Berbice yesterday, and I've been around this country over and over again. I believe we are all feeling the pain. The fact is, it's not Peter Ramsaroop alone that has been discriminated by the government. Many know what has happened to me from my business to my personal life, the discrimination I faced because I spoke out against corruption, I spoke out against the inequality, I spoke out for the way the government is treating people in Linden and Kokwani and Ituni and New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Annandale. The fact is, I hope, as I listen to you, that the pain that I felt, the pain you have felt, and the pain, what you said, your brothers and sisters is telling you, that we all are there with the same pain. And I challenge all of you, don't let that pain continue longer than it is now.
Yes, but we need to wake up.
Absolutely.
We need to stop allowing this government to fool us.
Yes.
The PNC went in there, the government coming here just like if there's a whole set of foolers we have, just fooling the Guyanese people all the time. Look, the Brazilian, they're coming in this country, ripping out our gold, taking it away, and then they're crying out them a meeting target.
Yes.
Look what's going on at Gaisuku. They got warned about building the sugar factory. They still go and build it, and they still end up in problems.
And they just put another $1 billion of your taxpayers' money in a failed system.
Right?
Dollar Ramatar and a bundle of those. Yes.
They can't protest, they can't open your mouth, and everybody all in the hole and just taking everything what's going on.
But this time, as you said, we've got to look at places like Egypt. We've got to think through. We've got to realize, you're right, and it goes right with the caller before you. We can't sit back on our butts anymore. We can't sit back in the rum shop and complain. We can't tell our children, you know, I can't afford to send you to university. It's time that we realize Guyana can do better. Folks, I've traveled around the world. I've lived around the world. I've been successful around the world. I had opportunity. I took it and I made it. I became wealthy because I had opportunity. We want to bring those opportunities right here. I want us not to have to worry about fixing a road. I want you to call me after the election and says, Mr. Ramsaroop, why did you just have 1,000 jobs in Berbice? Why don't we have 10,000 jobs? Versus, yes.
We have changes in Suriname. We have changes in Brazil. We get changes even in America. We now have changes in Egypt. What about Guyanese?
We must. We need bold leadership.
What's going on?
Yes, thank you very much. We need bold leadership. We need to continue the fact that this is our nation. Folks, we all wouldn't mind getting on an airplane and going to the United States or going to Trinidad. We love to travel. But the fact is, as I spent time with Guyanese last week in the United States, you know what each of them told me? Peter, I just would love to come back to my country. I would love to come back to Guyana, solve crime, create a new tax incentive system for us not to have to pay the bribes and the corruption, allow me to not have to worry but a discriminatory government, a government that only has one radio station and one television station that takes control of the entire nation, a government that discriminates against its people if you stand next to Peter Ramsaroop too much. We have to change that. And it says, if you do that, we will stop making other countries rich, and we will come back and want to be rich in our own nation. A lot of us only have a very simple Guyanese dream, and I've said that many times. We want a decent life, a decent living, a decent education for children, a decent home for us to be in, to enjoy life, to go out and have a drink at the shop, go to church and enjoy the unity that we find. It's very simple. And we have a system that is forcing us into a corner, and as all the callers have said so far, it is in our hands, not in any politician hand, not in my hand, I can tell you that, but it's in our hands. Peter Ramsaroop, can I help you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Very well. Okay, let's say you're the president of Guyana.
Yes.
You money to make Guyana another America tomorrow. Your dream, whatever you have. You have that money to make Guyana another America tomorrow. This is a third world country.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know that.
Well, let me tell you something. Stay on the air. Third world countries. You go to Trinidad. Would you consider Trinidad a developed country 10 years, 20 years ago? Absolutely. Their per capita per year is $14,000 US. Our per capita in Guyana is $1,500 US a year. That's $300,000 a year. This don't have to be no America. We just have to have a better country. We got $364 million in gold last year, revenues in gold, and I'm a pro-mining candidate. I believe we ought to look at our resources. We ought to look at how to expand our resources in the mining community. I believe we've got to regulate it, yes, but the fact is we've got to make sure that our people benefit and our country benefit from the mining community. The government, Mr. Jagdeo, President Jagdeo sold our nation forests out for $30 million a year, and he's telling the miners get out of the forest for $30 million when we made $364 million in revenues last year. Come on, Mr. President, what are you going to do with that $30 million? It's time. This is our country. We will determine what we do with our forests. We will not have Norway tell us stop cutting our trees down for $30 million while they spend their millions of dollars building big ships, polluting the environment every single day. They just built a 280-mile beautiful road stretch among their islands. They've got tourism to the highest, and we're going to tell people we wouldn't develop our country for $30 million. Mr. President, it's time you go. It's time you realize that Guyana is our country. We will take it back and we will develop it. Forget this is not a third world country. It's a third world country by the record. But as we know, we have the natural resources. We reduce taxes on our people. We encourage the foreign investors to be here. We incentivize our local investors. We reduce corporate tax from 40% to 10%. You can make money. You're going to grow your business. You can hire more people. If Norway wants us to stop cutting our forests down, come build a ship in Guyana, give us 10,000 jobs, and we may not cut a tree down. That's how we've got to run our nation. We've got to tell Venezuela, 5/8 of our territory, you need to take that claim off of our land. We need to invite Exxon and some of the big oil companies that have claims right now in the Esquibicos, come drill for oil. Oil will change it. We've got water. Water is one of the biggest commodities in the world of the future. We've got to figure out how to figure out where that economy will move to water. The road to Brazil, I said, we've got to finish. We don't need to be a third world country anymore. We need to be a prosperous country, a country that for our people, the discrimination has to stop, and we will move this country forward. And that's the vision, that's the commitment that we all must feel right here. Yes, can I help you?
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, sir.
Actually, what I would like to ask you, sir, what I would like to ask, when I've noticed it, and the government gets into power, right? This forcing them to control that they refuse the
Constitution, yes, it never happened.
It never happened.
No.
It's in the Constitution. They think that the Constitution has two terms that
yes.
They want to do. Actually, what I would like to ask you, sir, would you change the Constitution if you should do it?
Absolutely, and I will sign a legal document prior to any election, and I would ask any other opposition candidates to sign a legal document to the people that would tell you if you don't change the Constitution within the first year in office, you ought to call new elections and you ought to get out of power. And the people should know that, And that promise should be so public. The fact is, an Egypt should happen in a year if that constitution is not changed. That's the commitment that we will make, and we have no problems making that commitment. Peter Ramsaroop don't need your money to go waste money and build a big house or have giant cars and big cars, and you waste our taxpayers' money on contractors and fixing road over and over. Look at our city yesterday, how it flooded. And you know, the Chronicle today said it was only the city. I drove yesterday from Georgetown to Berbice, all the way to 63 Beach, and I can tell you, I asked my folks in the car, I says, wait a minute, do we live in swamp areas? Everywhere along the road was flooded with water. This is not a city problem. Look at the billions of dollars we spent on drainage. It is time we fix the Constitution. We change the Constitution, take away the executive powers, take away the immunity from the president, and the fact is, put Parliament back in control and elect people that are constitutionally based. So when you elect somebody for Berbice or Annandale or Georgetown, they're representing you, and if they don't do what you are asking them to do, they're out, and the government is out. Yes, you're on the air. Can I help you?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Peter Ramsaroop.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy if people like you can, win this election and change this country for better. There's a lot of people suffering. For example, there's a lot of people need this public assistance and they can't get it.
Yes, and I want to get rid of, we need public assistance, but what we want to do is ensure the economic situation gets better, so that you can have a decent job where you won't even care about $1,000 a month for social help because you're a single mother. You would be looking for a better job. We would have child care facilities where you can drop your child off and know they're safe. We'll have free public transportation. People say, where are you going to get the money to do all of this? We have the money right here. The fact is, if you stop wasting our taxpayers' money, you reduce the taxes from 16% to 10%, you reduce the corporate tax, more businesses will come in our country, more investors, more other components that brings revenues to our country, and those things will get better. Thank you for your call. I got to take one more as I close up the program. Peter Ramsaroop, can I help you?
How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Look, you talking about the Constitution. This government violated my Constitutional right 11 years ago by destroying my property. I won.
They destroyed mine too, I can tell you that.
Exactly, right? They destroyed my hotel, Tukun Suite. I won the case against them, got judgment. They appealed the matter. I wrote them concerning the quantum. They don't want to pay their amount. They discussed. They never replied to me. And they're using the courts to delay this whole thing. Yeah. Where are we going?
Yeah, I know. I said one on earlier the program, I felt the pain. I know what it's like to be victimized. I know what it's like to have to hire a lawyer to get out of something I didn't do. I know what it's like to see my fence broken down, my license revoked, all because I am not a supporter of the government. I've got to end this program, and we'll be back next Tuesday night at 9 p.m., and I'll take your calls then also. What if one thing I can leave with you? What are the three things in our campaign that we will commit to? Forget the big action plan, forget the big manifesto, forget the big blueprint. There's three things. One, economic changes. That means reduction in taxes, reduction in corporate tax, better investment climate so that our people can come into our country and invest their money. Security, crime will be solved. The second thing is the Constitution. Change the Constitution, make it our Bible. Make it the fact that I can't cheat the system. If I'm corrupt, I go to jail. Those are simple things that must be done. And thirdly, education, a culture of excellence for our young children. Ensure that our next generation has the ability to take me into my rocking chair or my hammock. I'd rather my hammock than a rocking chair. And to help me in the future make this country a better place. So education, a culture of excellence, duty of hope, sense of pride and commitment and patriotism, modernizing our nation, and remember that our spiritual aspects is still very important in our country. That sometimes we've got to call to the Supreme Being for the help we need for a better country, regardless of our race, regardless of our religion, regardless of our color of our hair, texture of our hair, color of our skin. This is our Guyana. It's for us to win. And it's for you and me. The power is in our hands and in our children's hands. Look in their eyes right now and make a commitment that I'm taking our country back. God bless you. God bless this country.